I've traveled the globe looking for the best banana bread, and all of a sudden I've had it hidden here. And now you get to try it. Welcome back to Perfectly Proofed. Today we're going to do banana bread. As I promised, we're going to open up another page of my book. This is one of my favorite recipes I have in here. As you can see, it hasn't really held up that well in this book. But we can still read it, so as always, the recipe will be in the box below. So let's get started. Okay, let's talk about bananas. Don't use ripe bananas. We want to use overly ripe bananas. I save these just on purpose. Like most people would be like, oh, they're gross, like they're moldy. And yes, they're moldy, but the skins are moldy, right? If we open up the banana like that, I mean, I wouldn't eat like that, but like in banana bread, this is going to be the best kind of banana. So we can use these guys. I mean, that's fine. I like the bruise here and how it's a little soft. But if they're like super bright yellow with a little bit of green in them, we don't want to use that for this. So personally, I'm doing a ×2 recipe. So I have up to ×5 to this, but a ×1 is like just a single 9x5 bread pan, or I also use them as muffins. It makes about, I don't know, a little over a dozen-ish muffins, if I remember right. So if you have a KitchenAid, it'll work perfectly fine. But if you don't, a large bowl and a whisk, and we're gonna knock this out. So you're gonna go ahead and peel your bananas and then add our sugar, and then we're gonna mash them all together. And now we're just going to go ahead and mash them all together. Sweet. From this point, we want to add our oil. Now our milk. And now our eggs. Don't forget the vanilla. And this is what it should look like once you have everything incorporated. So we still have chunks of bananas in here, obviously, which is totally fine. And we're gonna add this to our dry mixture. So let's do that now. Okay, I just got my flour, baking soda, baking powder, and salt in my bowl. And we're just gonna add our dry mixture to this. Our dry mixture. This is the dry mixture. We're gonna add our wet mixture to this. If you have a KitchenAid at this point, add your dry to your wet, like slowly, like 1.5 to 2 cups at a time. Let it incorporate, right? Otherwise, I just do it like this. And that's it. I mean, this is my favorite recipe. It took us, what, less than 10 minutes to bring this together. From here, you can add in your favorite mixtures, as in like nuts, chocolate, whatever. It's really good standalone muffins. I personally like to add a mixture of like dark chocolate and semi-sweet into mine, right? But this with toasted walnuts is good. But we can make this into banana bread, banana muffins, and I usually bake it at 350. You know, for muffins, probably like around 15-ish minutes. And then banana bread takes about 35 to 40-ish. So if you have some bananas sitting around, this is really easy to whip up and throw together for breakfast for muffins or a bread for whatever occasion you're doing. I'm just gonna eat it all. This also holds in the fridge really well for about a week. So Recipes in the box below, and I'm gonna bake off a loaf. At work, I have a giant one of these, and I'll have to scoop it like twice. So that's about how high you want to fill it. I don't know, maybe we can go like one more. Yeah, that's fine. It's a little over halfway, so that way it doesn't spill over. But just in case, I always put this on a cookie sheet, so just in case it does like pop and spill over on you. So 350. I'm gonna start with 35 and check on it. Then here we go. Sweet, so this looks perfect. To be honest with you, it took about an hour at 350, but that's fine. And so after I pulled it out, I let it sit for about 5 minutes, and then we're gonna go ahead and just flip it out onto a cooling rack. And go ahead and take your parchment off. Now we're gonna let this sit for about a couple hours before we're going into it. Otherwise, it's gonna like all mush together. So. See you in a couple hours. Okay, now that our banana bread is all cooled down, ready to cut, I personally take my edges off. I believe that like your first bite you should get should not be like dry, and the last bite should not be dry. So I cut them off. This is totally optional. You do not have to. Sweet. So, best way to eat this is immediately. So we're gonna go ahead and eat it. This is delicious. Also, in the morning, you can take this and dip it in your coffee. That is the bee's knees. If bees had little tiny knees, it'd be this little loaf. So, if you made this, comment below. Any questions, hit me up. But if you like this recipe, followed it, or like my page, subscribe. Catch you on the next one. So it's been less than 5 minutes since I took that last video, and that's all I got left. I don't think it's... That's all I got left. I don't think that's going to last the night.